Yo, what's up? Welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Friday, April 26, 2024. I'm one of your hosts, Blessing Adeoye Jr. Joining me is WWE superstar Greg Miller.
Hello, Blessing. How are you?
Doing good, Greg. How are you?
Excellent. Ready for a great show with you.
What is
got
this
the energy?
What's this shirt?
GCW, Game Changers Wrestling. It's one of the shows I went to when I went to Philadelphia for WrestleMania week. I got to see them at the midnight show. They were up with JCW, Jersey City Wrestling. What was that there, Bear?
My guess was going to be GameCube Women.
Oh,
GameCube Women.
Laura Croft. Like, Peach. What does that look like? Yeah, I kept reading it as ECW, and I was like, that's a really weird looking E. That doesn't seem
No, yeah, it's not. It's clearly a G, not an E at all.
Yeah. So I was like, is it a Greg Miller ECW crossover?
No,
This is
I
like
wish,
Greg.
you know what I mean?
What is ECW? Extreme
Championship
Wrestling. Yeah. I've been thinking, right? Because I've been talking about challenges a lot this week.
Yeah, you have.
And
is the movie out yet? No, it's not out yet.
It's
right?
out today.
Okay.
And
you going tonight?
Well, I was supposed to. I think I was supposed to go last night, actually, but the plans got shifted and changed. I have friends that want to go that live in Oakland across the bridge. And it's one of those things where it's like, okay, well, to hit the showing they want to go to the 7 p.m., but I'll be coming off of work. And I'm like,
Sure.
okay, well, I want to like navigate Bay Area traffic all the way over the bridge, all the way to like maybe barely make this movie. It's too much for a trek.
Bart.
Yeah,
so
but
simple. You took Bart once. You said you were like, you guys were right. It was great.
No, Bart is great. Here's the other thing is that I'm also always going to this theater, and like it's one of those things where
Time for them to come to you.
Yeah, like come over here.
Yeah.
You know, come watch it in the fucking Daly City Theater or something.
Great theater.
Yeah, it's a fantastic theater.
Weird escalator situation, but great theater.
Yep.
My other thing though is that I think they're still gonna go to that theater, and I'm like, all right, do I want to maybe make the trek? Like, and they end up. I think they're going next week instead. They had to change plans.
Sure.
Do I want to do that, or do I want to go see Challengers by myself?
Sure.
But then I had the thought, can I see Challengers by myself? Is it weird to go by yourself to see Challengers?
I've heard what somebody tweeted. One of their synopsis reviews is like, it's not like sexy. It's more realistic sexy. So it's not like you're getting into like a porn situation.
Yeah.
But I still feel like that might be.
I'm going to put a poll up for you.
Because I've been seeing all these like memes that are like 3 tickets for Challengers, please. And I'm like, this is fucking awesome. But I'm also like, can I go and be like, yeah, just one.
Well, you
ticket.
go by on your own and then find a couple.
I mean, see, like there's like 2 seats.
Come dressed as a tennis pro, like the little short shorts and the thing. You got a racket,
like a tennis racket.
Yeah.
Look for like 2 seats that are like 1 seat away from each other in the diagram
Yeah.
of the thing, and then click the seat between them. Try to make some friends.
Try to unite the group.
Yeah,
we're all the odd men out.
all right, I'm gonna do it.
Poll is up.
Damn, that's how much you want to see this movie.
I'm very.
I love
Zendaya.
Just to say, for the record, I'm not at all like going to a movie alone. That's not what I'm saying. It's just like, obviously, Challenger is a sexy ass movie. It looks like, you know what I mean? We're all excited for it. It's just interesting, like that is Zendaya's motivation. I just did a Greg way about this, and I'm gonna turn it into a kind of funny podcast topic of what actor do you pledge allegiance to? In being that, like, if they're in the picture, I'm gonna go see the picture. I'm gonna make sure I see this thing. I'm glad to see Zendaya. Will Smith?
Well, yeah, Will Smith's one. Zendaya is probably another
Did you see
one.
After Earth?
I did see After Earth.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't. The one I didn't see was Tell the Truth. I forget what movie that was. It was the one where he plays like.
Tell the Truth.
Yeah,
the concussion.
Concussion. That one I never got around to seeing.
Yeah.
Because I believe he plays like a Nigerian doctor. And the accent.
You are known for hating Nigerians.
Yeah, exactly. No, I hate it. Like he started talking, I was like, this is not a Nigerian accent. I can't abide by this. And so I didn't see that one, and I didn't see Focus, though I still want to go back and see Focus.
That was the Margot Robbie flick,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. It was like, I think one of her first movies.
Yeah, it was a weird thing, right? Where they had shot it and they're like, I don't know about this, and they kind of sat on it, and then Margot Robbie got huge, like, oh fuck, put on Focus, and everyone saw it, like, why is she not good in this movie?
Now, I saw you and Joey were talking about something that you wanted to talk about on KFGD.
That's true. I assume it's story number 1.
Oh, I didn't. I assumed this was gonna be like a pre-Roper report type thing. Oh snap! Is it a story number 1?
Bear, throw it up because it's. If there's anything Kinda Funny is not known for, it's rumor mongering. All right.
Wait, what am
this
I throwing
is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Joey put into KFGD Slack
okay.
a very obvious Greg and Joey thing.
I'm very.
This is unconfirmed, and I have top women, aka Joey Noel, on it right now, trying to get to the bottom of it. But Joey lit up my Slack with this tweet from somebody, D at my Alcott, who says Fortnite seemingly teases a possible upcoming Taylor Swift skin on Instagram. And it's a comment from Fortnite that says, without ever touching her skin, and skin's all capitalized with the 2 eyes on it or whatever, right?
Is that a lyric? Without ever touching her skin?
Yeah. Well, but isn't it? I don't know. I haven't memorized the new album yet.
Okay.
And if you drop, Bear, can you drop us off can we just see the image? Is that possible? Because I can open it up too. Because they're commenting on a reel that looks like it's from YouTube, right? Again, I don't give a flying fuck about if it's real or fake or where it came from. I flipped out when I saw it. You know what I mean? And that's when I sent it to you and I said, let's go or whatever. And so I'm throwing it back up. Joey, again, was looking at it. I have not heard a final report from Joey. Joey!
Wait, so if we go to the YouTube page right now, is it Instagram or is this YouTube? Oh, this is YouTube Reels.
YouTube
or
Reels.
Instagram Reels.
I don't.
I
the
assume
YouTube
this
has
is
shorts, so this is
Instagram,
Reels.
and it's YouTube's account on Instagram.
So if we go to YouTube's
I'm going
account
to
on
YouTube's
Instagram, this will either be there or not be there.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a deleted situation. Oh, this is interesting.
We're going there right now. And I'm clicking on Reels, right? It's on Reels. Then there she is. And the comment there.
Is Fortnite, have we had real people that aren't like characters that they're playing? Because I know we've had like
Ariana Grande.
Ariana Grande, but like
Billie
was
Eilish.
were they skins or were they performing?
They're both.
They're actually okay.
Well, Ariana Grande, she did a performance inside of Fortnite.
Yeah.
Billie Eilish is now doing the music one or whatever too.
Okay. Oh, that's cool.
So I'm scrolling and I don't see the comment on the reel, but that doesn't mean much, I guess. But I guess I do follow Fortnite. So maybe they deleted it. You know
Oh,
what I
they
mean?
did have Eminem. That's right. I mean, this makes a lot of sense then. Although this brings me back to like when we have talks about adding in, I forget if Superman ever made it into Fortnite, but like
He
I
did.
think people talked about this with like Batman and stuff. Where
He
it's,
did?
All right, you're giving these superheroes guns, or
Nobody
these
gives a
characters that
shit.
typically you're
Fortnite's
getting
ubiquitous
Goku a
with
gun.
pop culture. I mean,
Now we're gonna give Taylor Swift a gun.
this goes back. I mean, first off, don't act
America.
like these lyrics ain't guns. All right, we're gonna go back to it. Like I called this a while, and not that like it's like this is fucking out of the like when Ariana Grande's in it now. Billie Eilish, obviously, I'm sure it's Fortnite rapping on Taylor Swift's door left and right, being like, "Hey, can we please do something?" Right? Especially when they introduce Fortnite Festival, and it is, "Hey, it's Guitar Hero. Why not put the most popular musician in the world right now in this game and have it know, right?" So it's like it's not like, but I mean, you want to talk about like. I've said this a few times, right? I had Captain America, and I was happy there. Then I did the work to get Solid Snake. When Taylor Swift inevitably comes,
Oh God!
come on now,
We're gonna
that's
lose
it.
you.
That's it. And I pray to fucking God, it's not just a thing. Make the whole season about her. Make the entire fucking season about
Like
Taylor
the
Swift.
tortured Fortnite players department. Just make the whole thing.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good name. You're good.
That's
You're
what I do
good.
here. I'm a producer.
Yeah. All right.
Well, that's awesome. Congratulations on this. May or may not happening.
Yeah, I can't find it. Chat, you're smarter than me. Have you been able to find it in the thing? I can't do it. And Infinite Corpse says, Band Heroes Taylor Swift? Shout out to you, Infinite Corpse, for remembering. Remember Band Hero?
No.
There was Guitar Hero's answer to Rock Band was Band Hero, and they did have Taylor Swift in
Yeah.
there. And I reviewed it, and it was the infamous photo of me, like how far music games were already on the decline, that it was me reviewing it. It was me with the guitar at my IGN desk, feet up, slouched down. I was using a Kleenex box as a pillow, and I was just
Fucking
playing.
awesome.
And Damon came by, and he's like, "This is the death of the music game genre if you're doing it like
Jesus
this."
Christ. Well, Greg, enough about all that. Let's talk about today's stories, which include Switch 2 having magnetic Joy-Cons, Fallout 4's next-gen update issues, and more, because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday, we run you through the nerdy news you need to know about, live on YouTube, Twitch, and on podcast services around the globe. If you love what we do, support us with the Kinda Funny membership on Patreon or YouTube to get all of our shows ad-free, watch us record them live, and get a daily exclusive show. For a chance to be a part of the show, submit your thoughts and opinions as YouTube super chats as we go. Housekeeping for you. A new Mad Max in review is up over on youtube.com/kindafunny. I believe it's Mad Max
Witness me!
3. And then also, we're doing a
Beyond Thunderdome.
Beyond Thunderdome.
Beyond!
Sick name for a movie. We're doing a Kinda Funny Townhall on Monday, the 29th at 9:30 a.m. right before KFGD that you don't want to miss. That'll be going down right here on youtube.com/kindafunnygames and on Twitch. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Carl Jacobs, Kieran Hovasapien, and Delaney Twining. Today we're brought to you by the Kinda Funny membership, but we'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin with what is, and forever will be, the Roper Report. It's time for some news. We have 6 stories today.
A baker's dozen.
Starting with our number one. Switch 2 reportedly has magnetic Joy-Cons and might not support existing ones. I'm pulling from
I'm
Tom Isaac
shocked.
at Video Games Chronicle. New details about Nintendo's Switch successor have reportedly surfaced. Long-running Spanish video game website Vandal claims to have received information about the console from sources at peripherals manufacturers. According to the site, Switch 2's Joy-Con controllers will attach to the console magnetically. As current Joy-Cons connect to Switch using a rail system, it's unclear if they'll be forwards compatible with the new console. The existing Nintendo Switch Pro controller will work with Switch 2, it is claimed. It's worth noting that prior to Switch OLED's reveal in 2021, Vandal accurately reported on some of the console's features, such as the inclusion of a new stand and Ethernet port. I got more details from Stealth, who is referencing Stealth. He references the Vandal article where they mention the Switch 2 is seemingly reportedly larger than the Switch. Joy-Cons are magnetic. Switch Pro controller is supported, and accessory manufacturers have touched the new system but not actually looked at it.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
They touched it.
It's like the scene in Dune
Are they
1.
blindfolded?
Fucking Reggie Fils-Aimé is sitting across from him with a needle, and it's like, put your hand in the box, and they just fucking peel out the Switch 2 Joy-Cons. Cool.
Very cool. Like, did you expect your Joy-Cons to carry? And
Absolutely
I know,
not.
grain of salt, yada yada yada. You didn't, yeah, no, right?
I'm surprised even about the idea of the Pro controller working. I think even that I'm like, we'll see when we get there. Because
Nintendo's usually pretty good about that shit, right?
I mean, in certain contexts, sure. Like the Wii to Wii U jump, you could still use your Wiimotes, right? Like that was still a thing that carried over. But Nintendo's just weird, right?
True.
Like I feel like Nintendo likes their bespoke, hey, we're doing something here. We're doing something experimental or new or different or fresh. And I don't think they mind too much about leaving the past behind in order to pursue something new. And so if Nintendo were to come through and be like, hey, like, yeah, we're completely redoing the controller, new buttons, like new way to play games, all this shit. It for me, it's like the same thing of jumping from PSVR 1 to PSVR 2, where it is, okay, well, we can't really make these things backwards compatible because it's a new form of tracking, and like to do that, you have to like go develop by developer and like, you know, figure out a bunch of shit. I think Nintendo thinks in a similar way of, yeah, like if in pursuing what's next for Nintendo, we have to leave back the features of the Switch 1, we'll fucking do it. Like I think
agree.
that's where they're at.
I understand. I think this is all good news because this is not a WND. You can throw them up in the chat, Twitch folks, YouTube folks, right? This isn't a weird Nintendo decision. This points to them not reinventing the wheel, not going like, forget what you know about controlling games. It's something like the Wiimote. It is virtual reality, it is gesture tracking. If it's supporting the Pro controller, I'm like, okay, cool. It sounds like it's going to be, let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. Let's improve on what the Switch was and stick with what works. Let the novelty of the Switch be the ability that it's a handheld and it is a console, right? Rather than it be, here's this fucking weird ass GameCube controller.
My thing with it is, there was a conversation me and Tim were having a little bit yesterday of the HD rumble and the features that we have in the current Pro controller.
Yeah.
I think for a Switch 2, you find big ways to improve on it, right? Like I like the Pro controller. I don't necessarily love the Pro controller. I think
you gotta love that battery.
The battery is great.
We can't sit here and shit on the PlayStation controller all the time and its battery and not be like, God damn that Pro controller, I charged it once when I got it. Yeah, I've never charged it again.
I'm pretty sure I've not picked up my Pro controller in months at this point. I'm sure it's still charged. Like I can still pick up and play. But yeah, there are things like, you know, we jump forward to 2024 that we're in, right? Since 2017 of the Pro controller coming out.
Outrageous.
And crazy when you think about it. 7 years?
Yeah.
Insane. But we have things like the Xbox Series X controller, right? Which like improves on form factor, feels so good to hold, feels so good to control with. You have the PlayStation 5 DualSense, which has the haptics, has the adaptive triggers, have all these features, right? I don't think Nintendo's gonna go that route of adding in adaptive triggers. That doesn't strike me as a thing that the Nintendo stuff needs. But I think haptics would be a big step forward, right? We have the HD Rumble. This is the thing I was kind of going back and forth with Tim yesterday about, is like I love when I booted up Returnal and I can feel like every single raindrop in the controller.
Yeah.
I don't, and maybe this is you're wrong. Maybe this chat you can argue against this if you feel
Super
like
chat.
I'm wrong. But like I feel like I don't get that level of detail out of my Nintendo Switch Pro controller. And I think for a Switch 2, I would love to see them push that further. I think there are big leaps that we can make.
But the question there I would ask is like, is that because it can't do it or because developers aren't using it?
I mean, I don't think it's because it can't do it.
Because I remember when 1-2 Switch originally came around and it was like, how many ice cubes are in the glass and shit like that? Like, that did feel great.
Yeah.
Granted, it's 7 years old. I'm sure haptics, as we've seen with the DualSense, have come very far and da-da-da-da-da.
And that's the Joy-Con. Like, I think the Joy-Con has a lot of that stuff. I don't know if the Pro controller has that stuff. And even still, like, I think even just holding the Pro controller, there's something about it that feels a bit off to me.
Got it.
Like it just doesn't.
What I would
That's
always,
like the one thing I would say feels more like a toy than like a piece of technology that I'm holding.
I always feel like the Pro controller feels like a generic controller.
Yeah.
It feels like a Mad Catz thing, or it feels like I'm in a movie and they can't get any licenses, so I use this. It's not an insult to the device. I think it's got I think it's got a good build. I think it feels fine. I like the face buttons on it. Shoulder buttons I could do some changes on or whatever. But like, I don't know. For me, it's just a controller that doesn't really have an identity.
Yeah. For me, it gets
I
the
use
job
it so
done.
seldomly.
For me, it gets the job done in the way that the Joy-Cons are just so weird. And so if you're wanting to play a game on your Switch that is, I just want to play this like a traditional game. I don't have to worry about like holding it in handheld or holding two Joy-Cons in my hand. The Pro controller is there as a regular ass controller. I guess to argue against myself a little bit.
Well, let me come off the bench because I want to argue against you on this too.
Oh, go for it.
Of why I think, again, it's a good thing for not the weird Nintendo decisions, but I think unless they're doing something radical, which I don't think they are, the Switch 2 is going to come with the nice, fancy, whatever controllers you want, right? It's going to be back to the Joy-Cons have the crazy new haptics, whatever, in them. And then, if you want to use your old Pro controller, you have that choice. I assure you they'll be selling a new Pro controller that has the new bells and whistles that we'll all buy because we don't want to use the old one.
And that's what I would love, right? Like, I think I agree with you in terms of I don't think it's going to be that radical. And if it is the kind of jump from Switch 1 to Switch 2 where it is, the Pro controller can get all this shit done, I would love for them to do a Pro controller number 2 that is almost more.
I guarantee they will.
And I would like, but I want them to like lean into, all right, this isn't just a regular like standard controller. We're going for like the Xbox Elite controller type thing. Like this is a premium.
This is Pro. Okay.
Yeah, like all right, you had the Pro controller 1, which is you get that if you don't want to use your Joy-Cons all the time. Pro controller 2 is, hey, maybe you have the paddle features, maybe you have like more. God, I would love it though. I would love it. Like maybe you do that.
People watching live on YouTube Super Chat, I want to know what you think and what you want for the Nintendo Switch 2, what you like about the controller, what you think about a larger Switch.
But yeah, maybe it feels heftier. Maybe it feels more like a piece of technology as opposed to
no fucking
flimsy
way. There's a Nintendo is not putting out a controller with paddles.
But like, what if they do though?
If they were, which they aren't. But if they were, it would be like 4 years into the cycle, I think, where they're like, all right, cool. Now it's Switch 2. You have your Pro Controller 2. Now we're introducing the Pro Controller Elite or whatever.
Yeah.
But Nintendo just doesn't operate that way, right? Like, do you need that fucking level of precision for Splatoon?
I mean, I feel like there are people out there that would be like, yeah, I want that level of precision for Splatoon. But
that's what happens is they eventually graduate from baby Nintendo games and go play real games on their PC, all right?
But so you mentioned like 4 years in. Like, that's kind of where you want to do something like that. If what we're talking about is more of all right, it's a jump, but it's not as much of a jump, right? It really is a Switch 2. Are we just 7 years in, right? Like, aren't we just at this point like, cool, we're doing like the small updates. Let's make a small update to the Pro controller, or like I guess in my case, right, like a more premium update to the Pro controller. Like, I feel like you need those things, you need those features on the box to go, this is why you want to get this. As opposed to the Pro Controller 1.
But I feel like
what are you going to put on the box for Pro Controller 2 then?
A fucking Nintendo logo, because that's how this works. It's that whole thing of like, I just don't, like I understand what you're saying, and you are making sense from a fiscally responsible, educated, I am a consumer, and hey, we're trying to launch a new product and we're worried about it taking off. Nintendo is not. Nintendo knows that their fucking little logo and its little giant long pill rectangle makes money. And so, and I say this knowing full well that my Nintendo Switch 2 will not get that much playtime in the grand scheme of things. I will still buy the Pro Controller 2 at launch. Well, yeah, I want the nicer controller. You know what I mean?
But then what is a Pro Controller 2?
Well, I don't know, bigger shoulder buttons, heftier thing, even better battery life. No batteries. It charges off oxygen. I don't fucking know.
Fucking breathes.
You know what I mean? Like, they'll figure it out, and I think Nintendo knows that you will buy things. And I mean, us as video game fans or whatever. And there's always that excitement at launch. There's always this thing. And they also are playing the long game. Where, again, you say your Pro Controller 1 works. That solves the problem for so many parents and tweens and young kids who already have it, and they make it seem like, oh man, that's awesome for me. We already have all this shit and it works in the next one. Great, mom and dad, right? Where it is like us, we're the ones who are like, well, it's not gonna fucking read your thumbprint and Mario won't call you whatever gender you are by touching you. You know what I mean? Like, it's like whatever the fuck this thing's gonna do. You know what I mean?
God. So I want to talk about the magnetic Joy-Cons.
Okay.
Because I feel like in this whole story, right, like that's kind of the lead of it. That's kind of the biggest detail that they're throwing out there. But for you, is that a thing that sticks out as a sweet magnets? like is that like a cool thing for you? Is that like an upgrade for you? Do you care about it having magnets versus rails?
What I care about is the fact that the old ones won't fit, because that speaks to Stealth's point of larger than Switch. I think we're at this point where the Switch was such a success. Everybody found, I mean, you look at Steam Deck, you look at the Portal, you look at everything, right? I think Nintendo, I hope, looks at it as like, cool, we can go bigger and it won't be weird. Like, I think if they would have launched a very big boogie board Switch at number 1 in 2017, people would have been like, what the fuck are you doing? Why would I want to carry an iPad? You know what I mean? Whereas now it's like, I think one of the complaints about the Switch, at least the OG Switch, not the OLED Switch, is the screen size, the bezel, the whatever, right? So if you're talking about increasing that, that's where I get excited that it won't use the old controllers, right? I don't care personally if they're on a rail or if they're magnetized, whatever. Like, I've never had a problem with it.
This is me, again, this is us working off of rumors / reports, right?
Grain of salt.
Like, I'm sure once we get to whenever they want to actually reveal it, they're going to explain exactly how it works and why you don't need to worry about it.
Yeah.
Like, my main thing, I'm like, all right, but I don't want to like fucking, I don't know, manhandle it and then my Switch is falling off my
No, there's got to be
Joy-Cons.
something you figure where, even though it won't be rails, I'd imagine
It's like snapping somehow.
You lock them in, and then there's got to be some kind of thing to toggle it or whatever, right, to make it go.
But I do like the rails. I guess that then leads me to, are we done with the snap? Because it was the snap.
Because there's got. I mean, that's a great point too.
Yeah.
There's got to be, when you lock them in, there's got to be something there.
I
right?
hope so.
I
I
don't want to let the snap go.
Yeah.
I want to keep the snap going.
God.
I have a lot of super chats here about the controllers and everything else. You ready?
Yep.
Prof and the Dev Play Games gave a super chat and said, "Kinda funny theme Joy-Cons, please, Andy." I would love that. Even though they kind of launched with that. Remember when they had the hot pink and the hot blue? And it was like close enough. You know what I mean?
Do you think we're gonna get to the place we talked about this? When I say we,
The design lab,
the royal we. Well, no, more so, just like ridiculous Joy-Con designs of like, oh, half of it is a fucking GameCube controller that you're sliding onto your Switch. Do we ever get the bespoke Joy-Cons?
No.
Damn.
Not officially. You already have them right from third parties.
I guess we do. Yeah, you're right.
See, I was thinking for a kind of funny Joy-Con, Greg.
Yeah.
One Joy-Con, half of your face. The other Joy-Con, the other half of your face.
I'm in.
Disgusting.
You know what I mean?
So just the fucking analog stick is Greg's
My
nose.
nose. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, half of it. You know what I mean? Just half my nose, I guess, in each
Yuck.
side. Yeah. Some people would like that.
What else we got?
Tyler Wallace confirms that, yes, the Pro Controller has the best battery life. Demon Hacker says, put some damn Hall Effect stickers in the controller.
Let's say Hall Effect sticks. What is Hall Effect sticks?
I don't know what a Hall Effect stick is. Does anybody know? Let us know, chat. I don't know what that is. Thank you. Do that. Okay, here you go. Nine Scythe wants to argue with me about the paddles. If the next Switch has PS4/Xbox One capabilities, it would make sense to have pro level capabilities. It would make sense to answer that call if you needed it. I just don't think you want to come off of the success as the Switch has been so far. I don't think you launch Switch 2 and say, we're also putting out this Pro Controller with the paddles in the back and all this jazz. And people are like, to play Mario? I think you need to get the audience there that is playing, oh, I am playing Call of Duty. Oh, I am doing these things on this device that I would prefer that controller for.
That makes sense. I just want the excitement of the newness, right? Like, I know
the new.
If it is Switch 1 to Switch 2, there are going to be some things that have the crossover, right? But like the thing I loved about Switch going from Wii U to Switch is that every single thing felt new. Every single thing felt like when we're doing this for the Switch. So you get the Pro Controller and it's inherently Switch. You get like the Joy-Cons, it's inherently Switch. When we make this jump to Switch 2, I still want that. Like, I think there's something special about that. And I think there's, on the financial side, there's a lot to gain from that, right? Hey, we have a Pro Controller that is specifically Switch 2. What does that look like? We'll see. But you're right. And I think that is, if you're going to do paddles, if you're going to do like the customization and all the shit that we get from the Xbox Elite controller, that is for a certain audience that is, I think, more hardcore than what you're worrying about.
Here's the thing
at
I think
launch.
you're thinking about in a different context, right? It's new for Switch, right? We're talking about Switch.
Mm-hmm.
How new do you want it for Switch 2? Mareg Giller, that's my name, but he moved the G and the M around. Gave a super chat and said, forget Nintendo controller updates, prioritize backwards compatibility.
I hope so.
Because that's the thing with this. If it's going to be the Switch 2, I still hope for the Super Nintendo Switch. Whatever, though. The hope has got to be that Switch 1 was such a success that we are finally saying the Switch is an ecosystem. All your old Switch games work here. All the things you bought on the Switch eShop are going to be here, and they're going to work, and you're going to have them. You have your library, and you're carrying your Nintendo account over. And that's what I'm looking for from Switch 2, I think. is that I want this to feel like not a modern console in the way it's going to go compete with PlayStation 5, compete with Xbox, but in the way it's like, we understand that we have had lightning in a bottle with Switch 1, and we don't want to make you restart all of that here. That feels like an old way of thinking that I know Nintendo is an old way of thinking, period, but that seems archaic at this point.
But like, what if they could sell all those games back to you? Like, what if they could use
I know.
whatever DLSS solution they probably have for the Switch 2 and go, hey, you want to play Tears of the Kingdom but hotter? Give us $60.
Yeah,
you want to play all
70.
of these Switch or $70,
They'll do
right?
70,
Like,
I'm sure.
look at all of these games released for Switch 1. You want to get them again? Cough up the money. They're gonna look better. They're gonna play better. But yeah, give us that money. I think that's the sucky way to do it, right? And I think that's the consumer unfriendly way to do it, and I would hate that. But I wouldn't put it past Nintendo. Like when we talk about the weird Nintendo decisions, that's like the number one on the list of. Yeah, this is a very Nintendo thing to do. It's gonna upset a lot of people, but also,
but you can't do it in 2024, right? Chat.
You would think
Super
that from
chats. You can't do that in 2024,
from the
right?
things they've established with Switch Online, and yeah, the idea that this next thing is going to be in the Switch family, most likely, based on the reports, it's probably going to be backwards compatible. But I can't hope for it 100%. That's the crazy thing about Nintendo. I can't hope for it 100%.
This is one interesting one. Justin says put speakers in the Pro Controller too.
Does the Pro Controller not have a speaker?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, I would like that.
Why?
I feel like Nintendo. I mean, Nintendo's like the ones. I think they're the ones that like started doing that, right? The Wiimote had speakers.
Yeah, that's accurate.
I liked it. I liked it mainly though because No More Heroes, you could like talk on the phone with the speaker. It was cool.
Yeah, that's the kind of like the speakers and the microphones and all that jazz. Like that is stuff where I'm like, this is why the controller costs more, and I don't want that stuff. It's back to like when Vita has a touchscreen and a back touch. I'm like, no, thank you. I just needed a PSP with another stick. That's what I wanted.
Yeah.
You didn't have to give me all this shit. That's like you're chasing.
You know, like when you're playing Spider-Man 2 and you're doing flips and the flips come out of the controller.
There's nothing better than when I start on a new PlayStation, an office PlayStation, and this controller starts talking. I'm like, oh god,
yeah.
Immediately jump in, turn that off. I'm like, this has been off for years with me. Why is it happening here?
It's always the thing where I'm always playing with my headphones on at home, and then I come to work and I do something. And I'm like, I did not know that this was supposed to come out the controller. It would always be like the most random sound effects that they choose to come out the controller.
Yeah. Adam gave us a super chat and said adaptive triggers wouldn't work if the Joy-Cons were held sideways. Good point.
That's fair. But also, I mean, adaptive triggers are never a must on PlayStation. You can turn adaptive triggers off for any game. I mean, yeah. Like Returnal,
but it's back to the conversation I think we're just talking about of like what a Pro Controller would look like for it.
Yeah.
Now, of course, are they going to turn them sideways? Well, I guess they're talking about snapping on magnetics. They probably are turning them sideways again.
Yeah.
But, okay.
Yeah.
I got a couple more. I'll get you out of here. Sorry.
Yeah.
Owen Miss Prime gave a super chat and said, I love Nintendo, but I feel like collectively people just settle. Instead of wanting them to strive for more, they should have parity with Xbox and PlayStation.
I mean, to the part of parity with Xbox and PlayStation, I don't think you can do that and have it be this hybrid type console that is being handheld and doing all that stuff. And I think a lot of the audience...
I mean, not to mention... And I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But again, like, why would you want that as Nintendo? I understand what you're saying, Onimus. I remember being on IGN Game Scoops and talking about this kind of stuff and yada, yada, yada. And like, when we thought Nintendo was trending more to be a third party, right? But Nintendo went off. When everybody went right, they went left. And look at the success of the Switch.
Exactly.
Nintendo is not sitting there designing the Switch 2 and going, how are we going to keep up with PlayStation 5? They're like, what weird-ass shit are we going to do to make people love this shit more?
People are buying Switches. People are buying Nintendo consoles to play Nintendo first-party games. And you look at the sales of Nintendo first-party games, and they're outselling PlayStation games by at least twice, right? Like, that is not a worry, especially when you're making these games for... Correct me if I'm wrong about the budgets. I have to assume the budgets are lower than where you're getting out of your premium PlayStation first-party stuff. They're developing these things for less of a budget and then making way more money off of them. I think, if you're going to try and be on parity with Xbox and PlayStation, you're fucking up that whole bag, right? Like right now, you're making so much money by making games at this scale with this level of fidelity and doing all that stuff. I think you stay the course as a Nintendo.
James says for the Greg Switch controller, they should add speakers too, but the only sound they can make is his death cough.
Pretty good.
That was pretty good.
It's like you're breaking in Mario Kart and all you hear is the wheeze.
Alex G3B says more Nintendo consoles have been backwards compatible than not. Hopefully they learned from this with the awful Wii U and 3DS shop, which it seems like it. Is that true?
No, that's definitely not true.
Nintendo, Super Nintendo, not to Nintendo. N64, not to Super Nintendo. GameCube, not to N64.
Yeah, I think the only ones have been Wii was backwards compatible and Wii U was backwards compatible. Now Switch isn't backwards compatible.
And then
Unless you're counting handheld.
I was gonna say we're bringing in Game Boys then.
I guess Game Boys, changes that because Game Boy Advanced was, and then I don't know if 3DS was to DS.
I believe you can play DS games on 3DS, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Well, since it doesn't help our argument, Alex, fuck you.
But I will say, I mean, to their argument, whenever they're in the same family, usually they are backwards compatible. And so if the next thing is Switch 2, it's probably going to be backwards compatible.
Jeff Bull Jr. says, I wouldn't put it past them to sell HD games again in 2024, but they don't have relatively new leadership? Maybe things could change. We'll have to wait and see.
We'll have to wait and see.
There's one here from Stonewall, but I'm going to put it at the end if we get there.
We'll also have to wait and see what story number 2 is, because I want to tell you about patreon.com/kindafunny and youtube.com/kindafunnygames, where you can go and get the Kinda Funny membership, which allows you to get shows ad-free. And speaking of ads, let us tell you about our sponsors.
Kinda Funny turns 9 years old today. We could have made it 9 days without your support. That's why 2024 is all about doubling down on our shows and making it simpler than ever for you to get the most out of our content. Our revamped Kinda Funny membership is your one-stop shop for all our amazing content, which now includes on a weekly basis the Kinda Funny podcast, In Review, the Kinda Funny Games Cast, P.S. I Love You XOXO, the Kinda Funny X-Cast, the brand new series Kinda Funny Game Showdown. 5 episodes of Kinda Funny Games Daily, and 5 exclusive Gregway vlogs.
And 5 days of streaming fun with me and the gang here in our newly revamped streaming space. It's going to be filled with a ton of laughter and a whole lot of shenanigans. We'll see you there.
That's more than 20 pieces of content a week from an 11-person independent team in San Francisco. That's a lot, and to get the most out of it, all we're asking for is $10. $10 gets you the Kinda Funny membership, and that entitles you to ad-free versions of the shows, the ability to watch the podcast live as we record them, and the exclusive access to my daily show, Gregway. You can get your Kinda Funny membership on patreon.com/kindafunny or youtube.com/kindafunnygames. Yes, we are expanding our Kinda Funny membership offering to YouTube so people can take full advantage of the platform they prefer. If you want to go above and beyond the Kinda Funny membership to support us, we will still have higher Patreon tiers, albeit with some changed up perks. We just wanted to make the message as clear as possible that the $10 Kinda Funny membership is for the masses to get all the core content people love. Everything above that is very appreciated. The support means the world to us. You all are the best. But the $10 Kinda Funny membership available on both patreon.com/kindafunny and youtube.com/kindafunnygames is where we see the value of what we do. Kinda Funny is a dream come true, and we wouldn't have it without you. We hope if you've ever enjoyed the content, you can support us for at least a month as we prepare for our biggest year ever. Until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.
And we're back with story number 2. Fallout 4 Next Gen update is riddled with issues. This is Ryan Dinsdale.
Oh, so it's a Bethesda game.
At IGN. Bethesda's highly anticipated next-gen update for Fallout 4 is riddled with issues across PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. The Steam version of Fallout 4 appears most wrought with technical issues, though PS5 players have struggled to obtain the update at all due to an availability error and confusing messaging from Bethesda. Xbox players, on the other hand, don't have access to the game's quality mode, meaning they can't experience one of the main appeals of the next-gen update, 4K resolution on ultra settings. This specific issue was confirmed on X/Twitter by tech expert Digital Foundry's Thomas Morgan. Quote, I can confirm that only the 60 frames per second performance mode works right now. The update has a bug, end quote. PC players, meanwhile, have taken to Steam to flag myriad issues with the update. Quote, many of the bugs that existed and were promised many of the bugs that existed and were promised to be fixed are actually still in the game after the patch, said Piglet in one review. Quote,
I'm a piggy.
Finally updated the game and didn't fix a single issue, wrote Birthday Jesus. But now the mods I used to fix it don't work, end quote. Fluffy Bun Bun Kittens chimed in too. Quote, it is kind of amazing, they said. Now I'm just waiting with interest what new bugs we get with this new update, end quote. One of these new bugs seemingly makes the game unplayable for some on Steam Deck.
What?
PlayStation users haven't been free from issues either.
Damn it!
Though perhaps the biggest came in even trying to access the game. Fallout 4 was available for free through PlayStation Plus to all PS5 owners from November 2020 to May 2023. But this version of the game, nor the PlayStation Plus Essentials catalog version, wouldn't allow players to upgrade to the next-gen update for free. A full $20 purchase was required instead, though Bethesda soon confirmed this was an unintentional bug. Quote, we've seen some confusion regarding the free Fallout 4 next-gen update for PlayStation Plus Extra members, wrote a Bethesda community manager on the company's official Discord, who clarified it should be free as expected. Those who have been able to get into the game haven't had the best experience either, and have taken to social media to share their impressions. Quote, the Fallout 4 PS5 upgrade looks amazing, wrote CSS Jazz on Reddit sarcastically, as they posted the comment.
I was like, damn, it's going well. Oh, no.
As they posted the comment alongside a video of one area with missing textures. Greg?
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
Incredibly.
Is it surprising?
No. Well, no. I wish it was. Launching anything's tough. Of course, we've talked at length on all of the shows, especially when we were running up to Starfield, Bethesda jank, all these different things. You get to this point and it is like, man, this was supposed to have come out forever ago, got delayed, finally comes out, bugged on some way in every platform. Just a depressing thing, you know what I mean? Let alone then the complicated nature of, okay, well, I had it through PlayStation Plus, so this is that, but it's not that game, so now I can't, you know what I mean? Like, people being locked out that way. It's more the fact that they even, like, you and I were talking about this, where it's like, we woke up yesterday excited to do it, went to my PlayStation 5, went to the store, it was like, buy it. I'm like, well, I don't want to buy it. I went to my library, went down, it's locked. Oh, it's locked. Oh, right. This game is so old. I had it on disc. Like, that's a game I had on a disc.
And I think that was, for you, that was back, I think, during Bethesda not giving out review copies, right? They had, like, a whole era where Bethesda was not sending out.
That was short-lived and later than you think.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was when I was at IGN, and that was, like, 2017.
And that was, like, 2 games before they changed their ideas on that or whatever.
Because I think that was, I think that might have been in response to, Prey.
Oh, damn. Yeah, that was way later than I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because I remember I had the Fallout edition with the Pip-Boy and all that jazz from them or whatever.
And yeah, like I remember being at the midnight, like I was at Best Buy for the midnight launch, and it was probably like, what, 20 people at this Best Buy just in line getting their copies of Fallout one at a time. And
what a time to be alive.
It should have been way more exciting than it was. It was like kind of sad, where everybody's like just kind of quiet, and like they're like, oh yeah, we're here for Fallout 4? Yeah, let's go. I was like, all right, cool. We just fucking got our games, went straight home, and immediately started playing.
Those were the days. That's how we used to do it, kids. You don't even know.
Bring it back. I think people
don't bring it back.
People still not do. There's still midnight launches for games.
Yeah, there
sometimes.
are, but like now you can also do the 901 digital launch from the comfort of your house. You know what I mean?
I feel like GTA 6, I'm going to go to the midnight launch.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I'm sure. I hope we get codes.
I would hope
but
so,
even if we get codes, I'll probably still want to show up for a physical version just to like even just be there. Because the GTA 5 midnight launch is like unrivaled. It's incredible.
Was it?
I mean, for me, it was. Yeah.
Okay.
It was a college campus. Everybody was at GameStop. People were playing ping pong. It was great.
Are you surprised by the problems here?
A little bit, but like for me, I look at this in the same vein as, you know, what went down recently with Star Wars Battlefront, but then I think even more so the GTA trilogy remaster / remakes, where it's seemingly remasters more tough this generation. Is like it seems like we're getting more and more issues with people trying to add in all these features of, oh yeah, we want the ray tracing, 4K, like 60 FPS, performance mode, fidelity. Like it seems like that stuff is pushing devs to the limit. And Bethesda, of course, when you're working with Fallout 4 or you're working with any, honestly, Bethesda game studio game, there is jank involved that you kind of got to work around, right? Like I wonder if we're ever going to get to that point with Bethesda game studio games where this isn't the expectation. You know, I wonder if we're going to get to a point where it is, oh shit, this works so seamlessly. Like this runs as good as Baldur's Gate 3 or whatever, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah. Except for Act 3.
Except for Act 3, which apparently fell apart. But yeah, like I wonder if we'll get there. But yeah, with a Fallout 4, not surprising, but disappointing. I would have hoped that this would have been the one that they were able to get right and have working flawlessly.
Worth pointing out in the Super Chats, Street Shadow says, just a heads up that the PlayStation bug for Fallout 4 PS5 upgrade was fixed for me as of last night. So it's
nice.
They might have fixed that PlayStation Plus thing already and had that taken care of or whatever.
Somebody just dropped a link in here to Video Games Chronicle.
It was me!
I saw Jordan Midler tweeting about this earlier. He had put up a feature saying, Bethesda, it's time to let someone else make Fallout 5. I've not read it, but I agree with the sentiment.
Jordan starts it. It's been almost a decade. It's been almost a decade since last Fallout single-player Fallout game. It'll probably be a decade until we get another one from Bethesda, at least. After Fallout 4, Todd Howard's team set course for the stars, and the Fallout license was granted to a mix of Bethesda Game Studios and BGS Austin to develop Fallout 76. he goes on and goes on and goes on, right, like this, and he's basically saying, of course, what so many of us have been thinking of, like, okay, we understand you love it, we understand it's yours. I would even say you can keep Fallout 5, but let's get Fallout colons going. Let's get people going on different Fallout games.
Yeah, who would you want to make it? Because I know the easy answer is Obsidian,
I
but
know.
they seem busy. Like they have Outer Worlds 2, they got Avowed coming out soon, right? Like they have Grounded that they're working on. It seems like even if we wanted them to make it, it'd still be maybe 7 years or something like that before we can even get around to it.
Yeah. So then you get into, I don't know, who do you want to make it? Like, again, if you really...
I got dream picks.
Larian.
Yeah, Larian is the
1,000%
dream
Larian would be the dream pick. I would just beg them to make it.
Yeah. And even at that point, like... And I wonder what Bethesda would feel about this, but like at that point, make like a classic Fallout game, right? Like make it a throwback to Fallout 1 and 2 that were these classic CRPGs. If Larian makes one of those and like brings back that kind of Fallout, guess what? Now you have two like major types of Fallouts that you can work with here.
Yeah.
And dude, I think that would get business going.
100%. I mean, business is going. Kebabs in the super chat says, "Is the Fallout show the highest quality entry in the franchise?" Yeah.
Define highest quality.
I mean, I would say when I originally read it, I thought highest quality entry in terms of highest quality debut. And I would say, yeah, right, in terms of not falling apart, being able to run, not having
I know New Vegas had a rough launch.
New Vegas, if you wore a hat on the Vegas Strip, it would fucking destroy the entire game.
Yeah.
A very specific hat, but nonetheless.
Is it the best Fallout entry, do you think?
It's hard to say. You know, I've seen you streaming Fallout New Vegas. I bought it on Steam Deck, and I've never actually rolled credits on New Vegas. And I know so many people put that up as the best Fallout. So I feel like I can't until I do that myself.
Yeah.
Which when will I actually ever? Who knows?
It sounds like you like it more than Fallout 3 and Fallout 4.
Yeah, like is an interesting one. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. If you were to tell me right now, like, Greg, tomorrow you can have Season 2 of Fallout, or you can have Fallout 5, or even Fallout from somebody else.
Yeah.
I would inevitably choose the video game because I love being in the world more than it. It's just the fact of like, when I think back on Fallout 4, which like, oh, the next gen thing, I want to download it. I want to try it. Like I'm fucking in the mood for a Fallout right now. Yeah. Right. I look at the clips we show there and I'm like, yeah, I mean, I played this game and I platinumed this game and I loved this game, but like years removed from it, what sticks with me about it? This is the conversation I've had so many times, right, on these shows and other podcasts of, is, for my generation, Fallout 3 that great, or is anybody's first Fallout going to be so mind-blowing to you that you're like, holy shit? Because like, I get infinitely more excited, oh, Fallout 4 next gen patch, or Fallout 76 isn't garbage anymore. When there's a rumor they might be remastering Fallout 3, I'd be like, oh fuck, let's go.
Yeah.
Because like running, like
you think about you. I think there are moments that I recall in Fallout 3 more than I recall in Fallout 4,
and that's my thing. And I like, I'm gonna do some light spoilers for Fallout 3, right? But like when you go. You're still here? When you go to the White House and you run into the robot who thinks he's Thomas Jefferson, like that was months after review. And I had already beaten the main campaign. I ran in like, what the fuck is going? You know what I mean? And it was like, there's that moment, and like that game, I felt, you know, it was Janet, right, who talked about friction, right? Mm-hmm. And I feel like Fallout 3, despite any jank or over encumbrance or whatever, was frictionless in my memory of like, oh man, what is over that ridge? I'm gonna go find a story. Oh shit, it's a super mutant. Oh, it's Fallout 4. When I was like, oh man, do the DLC. That sounds great. Should I roll a new character and start over? I immediately had like Vietnam flashbacks of like, I'm Preston Garvey and somebody's attacked. Oh, do you want to build your fucking stupid house? And I'm like, oh god, I don't want to do any of that shit. So it's like, oh fuck, I wouldn't want to do that part of that again. You know what I mean? So it's like, Fallout 3 is special to me, and I think with the, you know, in the same way Helldivers is all about democracy, right? Like Fallout, even from the show, is so about America, right? And this, that, and the other. Being in DC was such a great setting for that in a way I don't think Boston was. Like I don't have the great memories of Boston outside of like, oh, it's the Green Monster. I get that. You know what I mean? Like whereas DC was like, fuck, it's this memorial, it's this thing, it's the White House. Holy shit.
I will say the moments of Fallout 3 definitely stick out more than the moments of Fallout 4 that I recall, like sitting here, right? When I think of Fallout 4, I think my first time getting to Diamond City and just how cool the like idea that is for, oh man, this is the city that is built within a baseball stadium. That's fucking cool as
Super
hell.
cool,
And then like characters like Nick Valentine, I
Yep.
remember fondly. But
The
right
town,
now,
like where it's ran by a ghoul.
Yeah, I remember that guy. I saw him recently in his tricorner hat. I was like, oh yeah, you were cool. I remember
Yeah,
you
it was
being
cool.
but yeah, with Fallout 3, there's like I talked about this a week ago or so, or like Megaton is such like a cool like you talk to anybody about Fallout 3 and it's what'd you do with Megaton? Like did you fucking blow it up and all this
Yeah.
shit? Like that's such a cool conversation point. New Vegas
it?
are what's up, Eric?
Is it?
I think so, yeah. I feel like that's the thing that plenty of people are like came out of Fallout 3 are like, yo, that's fucking cool. For me though, playing New Vegas, already I've had a moment where I'm like, oh, that's fucking sick as hell.
Yeah.
And I'm very early in the game still. And so
There was an interesting tweet I got the other day because we've been talking so much about New Vegas, and obviously Super Chat sound off about what your favorite Fallout is or anything like that. Where it was like, Greg, if you're actually considering doing New Vegas, now that you understand role playing a character better after Starfield, where I was Becky Lynch and I found the thing and I did the thing, they were like, it might work for you to play New Vegas and basically role play as what a Helldiver would be for the New California Republic. I was
that'd
like,
be sick.
that's a really interesting idea, right? That I usually drop into these things and I'm naming myself Taylor Swift or Clark Kent, and then I'm going and I'm clearly going to make the good choice. I'm going to do the thing. Like choosing somebody and like, this is the defined value I have, and actually being like true to that and choosing it. Like I know people who play D&D and role play like that all the time. You're like, that's how you're supposed to. That's just never how I've done it before. And so it's an interesting idea of like, maybe, because I think that was one of the things with New Vegas of like, you're not coming out of the vault. You already, you know what I mean? So it was always like a weird drop in point. Whereas the vault I always loved of like, I've been living down here. That's all I know. Oh no, it's, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I've already had like some of those moments. I mean, not exactly that, right? But like the role playing moments in Fallout New Vegas that I don't think I got as much of in Fallout 4, where in one of the quests, I need this like battery type item to help this faction, right? I go and I find this old lady that has what I'm looking for, and like it's her sitting alone in front of her shack with like 4 dogs that are just around her, like they're friendly pets or whatever.
Yeah,
And reading the situation, I'm like, okay, like let me talk to her, and I barter with her. I get it down to half price, but then I look at my menu. I'm like, I don't have enough caps for this, or I do have enough caps. I just don't want to spend the caps.
Yeah.
I'm cheap. I don't want to spend all these caps for this thing. And so I'm sitting there for a second, and then my chat's like, I'll just kill her, just murder her. And I'm like, I'm not gonna murder her because one, if I murder her, these dogs are gonna come after me. And I can take the dogs, but I don't have that much ammo. Like, do I really want to do this?
Yeah.
I then pickpocket her, and thankfully she didn't see it. But then I went inside her place and then stole the thing. And then she like, it seemed like she saw that I did that because I came outside and she had gone inside and the dogs were barking, and I fucking start running. And I'm like, this is fucking awesome. Like, that was the whole moment I had in this game that came out 2010, 2011.
Yeah.
And
How's it run on Steam Deck?
I'm not playing on Steam Deck.
Okay.
I'm playing it on Xbox. I'm playing like the 360 version. And honestly, I'm really liking it.
It runs really good on Steam Deck, correct?
It's still on my like. I have a couple reviews here, and hopefully I clear that and go to that.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm really happy to be back to New Vegas. But
Fallout's great.
Fallout's fantastic.
I love fucking Fallout. Listen to Jordan Midler, Todd. Give it to other people.
It sucks.
Keep it for yourself too, but spread the wealth.
It sucks that this should have been the version that like, okay, I finished watching the show. I never played the game before. Oh, let me pick up the Fallout 4 remaster, and seemingly now it's not living up to that.
Yeah.
I'd be very frustrated if I was like somebody who had stake in like Fallout success. I'd be like, what the fuck, man?
Yep.
Moving on. Story number 3. Speaking of Xbox, Call of Duty and Diablo boost Microsoft's gaming revenues, but Xbox sales continue to fall. This is James Batchelor at GamesIndustry.biz. Microsoft has released its latest financial results showing significant growth in gaming revenues, thanks in no small part to the acquisition of Activision Blizzard. However, Xbox hardware sales continue to decline and saw the steepest drop since the Xbox Series X and S launched in 2020, down 31% year on year. The company's overall revenues were up 17% to $61.9 billion, primarily due to the growth in Microsoft Cloud, which saw revenues rise 23% to $35.1 billion. Microsoft attributed the 51% growth in games revenue to the better-than-expected performance of Activision Blizzard titles, particularly the continued success of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Another Activision highlight was the introduction of Diablo 4 to Xbox Game Pass, which was played for 10 million hours within the first 10 days of being on the service, making it one of the biggest first-party launches since the subscription service began. However, revenue from Xbox console sales fell by 31% year on year in the 3-month period, the steepest decline since the current generation devices launched. Of the past 8 quarters, 6 have seen declines in Xbox hardware revenue. During the accompanying earnings call, CEO Satya Nadella also pointed to the benefits of releasing more Microsoft-owned titles on other platforms such as PS5 and Switch. In fact, he told investors that Microsoft had 7 games among the top 25 on the PlayStation Store earlier this month, more than any other publisher at the time.
Eat it, other publishers.
Hey, what did you say?
Eat it, other publishers.
Oh, eating other publishers.
I said eat it, other publishers.
Oh, eat it, other publishers. I don't know what I was hearing about. I heard like Aiden, other publishers. I'm like, who's Aiden?
Aiden Pierce from Watch Dogs, of course.
Oh, God. Interesting, right? Like, I mean, obviously Activision Blizzard is going to bring in the cash. They're going to bring in the money. But it is fascinating seeing like how well Activision Blizzard stuff is doing, especially when you put something like Diablo on Game Pass and see that just fucking
10 million hours within the first 10 days. That's crazy.
Just explode in numbers.
Yeah.
But then you look at the rest of Xbox and they're still trying to like get those numbers up or get things going.
Yeah.
You imagine that, yeah, like as we go, maybe Activision Blizzard becomes more of just the identity of Xbox in this way where they're like, yeah, like we're doing
They'll
good.
make the money.
Yeah.
The other Xbox studios will make the art.
Exactly,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, hey, no, this is our business right here, but this is Xbox too, and so it counts.
Yeah, 100%. I also think it's interesting. This is something we kind of talked about yesterday in one of our games meetings, right? Of just like how, the CEO here is talking about the benefits of Microsoft titles being on other platforms, namely PlayStation 5. How weird it is that like Grounded, Sea of Thieves, the other one, the
Hi-Fi Rush?
Yeah, that's the one, are on PlayStation, and it's like,
No big deal.
Nobody cares. I mean, like they're selling, it's like, it's such a boring success. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Where it's like the world hasn't cracked asunder and everything's fine. Nobody's talking about it. It's like the bringing a game to a new platform after it's already been somewhere for so long is such a wet fart for
Oh, yeah.
everybody, right? Where it's like, I think of Rogue Legacy 2 and how excited I was to get on PlayStation. Nobody cared. It went, I bought it.
The
Nobody
people
cared.
that'll buy will buy
I was
it.
the other day, I was like, this week, I was like, I finally started playing Moonglow Bay on PlayStation because I begged for that forever. It came out. I didn't have time to play it. Now I've been playing it right before bed. Having a great time. Love that game. But then I was like, oh man, and isn't Dave the Diver coming up soon on PlayStation? I can't wait. And I went to the PlayStation store. It's been out like 2 weeks. I was like, God damn, I did not realize that happened already.
Yeah. Like it's I mean, it's an interesting thing where it's so good for numbers, but yeah, when you talk about like the conversation or like us caring, we've already played it, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel like the
Yeah.
hardcore audience is so vocal especially when it comes to this, like what, in January or February, this was the biggest news on the planet.
Yeah.
Oh shit, like these games are coming to PlayStation, the sky is falling, like Xbox is gonna shut down, all this shit, right? And it's like at the end of the day, nobody really cares, and Xbox is just making more money. And so it's like, all right, like cool. I hope they do this more, right? Like I hope we see more of this. And I hope we see it again, like for Helldivers 2. I want to see Helldivers 2 come to Xbox.
Sure.
I want to see it come to more platforms.
Yeah.
And I want to see
We need more people in the fight.
I want to see more cross-pollination.
Super Earth needs everyone.
Story number 4. Before Your Eyes devs form a new studio, Nice Dream Games. This is James Batchelor at gamesindustry.biz. Some of the devs behind the BAFTA-winning Before Your Eyes have banded together to form a new studio, Nice Dream Games, and are working on a spiritual successor to the Blink-controlled title. Los Angeles-based Nice Dream Games was founded by Before Your Eyes game director Oliver Lewin and writer Graham Parks, with several members of the original team joining the 2 childhood friends at their new company. Their debut game will be Goodnight Universe, a narrative adventure in which you play a 6-month-old baby developing psychic abilities.
Yes! Let's fucking go.
Like the team's previous title, this will be published by Skybound Games. Building on the success of the Blink tracking controls for Before Your Eyes, Goodnight Universe will also have a face tracking mode. The quote, the success
yeah.
of Before Your Eyes showed us that there's an audience of like-minded people out there who seek out games to emotionally engage them in ways other mediums simply can't, said Parks. We founded Nice Dream Games to continue to make games for that audience, specifically Greg Miller, which push the limits of what interactive storytelling can do, end quote. It's fantastic.
Fuck yeah, let's go.
I really want to know what the face tracking stuff is going to do for like playing as a 6-year-old baby. Like,
6 month here.
or sorry, 6-month-old
old
baby. Like you're just crying on demand. And,
My
like
psychic abilities as I'm moving and like doing the Professor X
because you don't
shit.
have like, much motor controls of your hands.
Well, I mean, again, you
probably
usually don't
do.
have psychic abilities, so we'll see.
Yeah.
This baby could be using the psychic abilities to stabilize its neck so it can move its head better.
Yeah, so you don't have
Yeah.
to like have the support. That's smart.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
smart.
Fuck yeah, that's great news. We talk about studios closing all the time. These are really talented people. I want them to go make really weird shit.
Yeah, and I love them standing by. Hey, we just made Before Your Eyes, which is a game that was special for how it approached storytelling and telling something that is like a personal, very moving story. I like that they're doubling down on that and going, hey, we know what we do well. It's face tracking and making people cry.
I wonder what it'll be platform-wise. If it's just going to be a Steam game, like because that's how obviously Before Your Eyes started, Steam game with webcam, or is it going to be
VR.
another VR thing from the jump, or where it'll be?
What would you want from them?
I mean, I want it to be as accessible as possible, right? So like, especially if you're just starting, go to Steam. Go to, you know what I mean? Go there and hopefully, figure out a way to get it on console and Netflix and all that jazz again.
I would be down if PlayStation were to throw them a bunch of money to put it on PSVR 2 or develop it for PSVR 2. I think that'd be smart.
I think the best
That'd be the smart thing to do.
Best case scenario would be like, hey, we're putting this out and you can play it on Steam or on VR all at once, right? Because again, we go back to how hard it is to make an impact after it comes months later, right? Where it's like, I think as somebody who's played both but late, Before Your Eyes, PlayStation VR 2 is like a religious experience, and it was good on Steam and Netflix and all that. It was cool that it was accessible, but being wrapped up in it was a way better experience. And far fewer people played that version, not only because of the success of PlayStation, but because of the fact that it was a year and a half later.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, I already heard about this game. I already know about this game.
Story number 5. Indie devs are selling a 300-plus game bundle for $8 for Palestine Children's Relief Fund. This is Chris Golian at Video Games Chronicle. Indie devs have contributed to a large bundle of games to raise money for Palestinian relief. The Palestinian Relief Bundle costs $8 and contains 373 items at a total value of around $1,650.
God damn!
All of which are DRM free. All proceeds will go to the Palestine Children's Relief Fund. Highlights in the bundle include a short hike, which you should absolutely get and play, Wander Song, Coffee Talk,
I liked,
and Fist Ultra Edition. Barrett has pulled up the bundle on itch.io, and he also had pulled up the tweet earlier, so you can go find those if you want to check these out. And you should 1,000% do it.
1,000% go do it.
Do
Look
it
how close they are to
charity,
having
but then also leave
$500,000 too. That's awesome.
That's incredible. I love when we do stuff like this, right? Like I think the first one I recall that was on this level was was it 2020 during like all the George Floyd protests and stuff? I believe that was one, and then there have been a few since then. Like it's kind of started a trend of a bunch of indie devs charging very low prices for just a bunch of games.
Yeah. Remember, you can always give more. Obviously.
Yeah. So
if you don't use itch.io a lot,
go check that out. But Greg, that's a big bundle of games to get for only $8.
Yeah.
But if I wanted something smaller, say the tiniest news I needed to know about, where would I go?
You'd go to our last story, the Wii News channel, where we cover all the small news items you need to know about.
That's right. Story number 6. Wii News. I'm not doing it until the background changes. There we go. Stellar Blade is out today on PS5. Sandland is out today on PC and PS5. Topspin 2K25 is out today. Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, Sweep the Board is out today.
That's the Mario Party ripoff.
Barry, you trying to play that?
I mean, I'm down.
Because I could be fucking down.
I'd be down.
We could hit up the stream team, be like, yo, put a pause on Pokemon for it.
Yeah,
We're sick of Nick.
No one wants to watch Pokemon anymore. They want to watch us play the Demon Slayer Mario Party ripoff. Really quick with Sandland, play that on PlayStation. As someone who's reviewed the game 8 hours on PC, I think I need to let go of this PC playthrough. It is not well optimized for Steam Deck.
And also,
PC.
let me just add in, you should probably let go of your PC.
Let me add in, I didn't want a PC code.
There you go. You got your ass.
Fight me, Greg.
Fight
Fight me, Greg. Fight me,
Fucking
Greg.
beggars can be choosers, you know what I mean?
Free-to-play fighting game Super Dragon Punch Force 3 is out today on Steam, Android, and iOS. 2 more Lego Animal Crossing sets are launching August 1st. Kage, Shadow of the Ninja, launches August 29th on Xbox Series X, PS4, PS5, Switch, and PC. And finally, Honkai Star Rail version 2.2 launches May 8th, 2024. And that's it for Wii News. Before we get out of here, we got some super chats for you. Stonewall Craft says, do you think emulators being allowed on iOS would cause old school Pokemon games to be a part of Switch 2 launch? Yeah. I mean, I think Nintendo's not factoring in ROMs into the equation of their business. Right? Like, if anything, Nintendo's like, anything Nintendo can do to stop this, they're trying. They're looking into. So yeah, I don't think that's going to get in the way of anything. Cozy Bear writes in and says, get ready because today your boy is returning to Kinda Funny Happy Hour with an exciting new segment. I'm going to rock your world like infograms.
Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, if you're a Kinda Funny member, our monthly happy hour is today. You can come hang out with us 3 p.m. Pacific. You get to call in. It's a Patreon exclusive show.
Furry B
Kinda Funny membership exclusive show.
Yeah. Furry B Production says my twins turned 18. First good sleep in 18 years. Congratulations. I originally read this as my twin turned 18.
Yeah.
And I was very confused. So I was like, if they're turning 18, what's going on with you? Why aren't you turning 18 too?
Yeah, that's confusing.
I was like, what's happening here? But congrats on that. We have more super chats. Oh, we do. Portland Kevin says, I played Fallout 3 in 2008. Still think about Oasis.
I don't remember that.
I think that's one of the. Is that part of the main quest? Oh, Oasis sounds like it has to do with
the band.
I said maybe.
It's been so long since Fallout 3 that like, and I have this with so many games where if you ask me the details of what exactly happened, I would be like, I don't fucking know. But Fallout 3's whole thing was that you're trying to get clean water. Like first you got to find your papa.
So papa.
Your papa.
Liam Neeson.
Yeah, who's Liam?
We don't
Neeson.
talk about enough that Liam Neeson's. In
I
Fallout
always
3.
forget that actually.
Yeah.
That's sick. And papa was working with the Enclave, I think, to help generate clean water.
That sounds right. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, and I've not looked up the plot of Fallout 3. But I would imagine Oasis is part of that.
It's very forgettable because it was done already.
And what?
The other Fallout games before 3.
That everybody played. You know, everybody had done it before.
Yeah. Matthew Perry. Am I getting that?
New Vegas.
Guy, yeah, he's in New Vegas. He's the guy who shoots you at the very beginning of the game. Bless.
Spoilers.
I saw
the first 2 fucking seconds, Greg.
I saw a tweet that was like, Fallout 3's plot, I'm looking for my dad. Fallout 4's plot, I'm looking for my son. Fallout New Vegas, I'm gonna fucking find you. I'm gonna find the man who shot me.
I'm looking for Matthew Perry.
And we got one more from 9sif who says, have you guys seen or played the roguelite Raven's Watch? It just got a new update. I've not seen Raven's Watch.
I have not seen that.
Barry, is it possible to look up Raven's Watch as I do you wrong? Because I'm going to do you wrong right now, of course.
He's doing you wrong!
You can write it at kindafunny.com/you're wrong, where you write and let us know what we got wrong as we got it wrong so we can correct it for those watching later on YouTube and listening later on podcast services around the globe. Lanky Dragoon says that tweet seems fake. The Taylor Swift thing.
Boo!
Someone on Twitch says Kinda Funny Happy Hour is Patreon exclusive. Because it's it's not the Kinda Funny membership. It's the one. Henry McLean says Sandland is also on Xbox. And I think is Sandland's not Game Pass.
It might be Game Pass.
Or no, I'm thinking of Botany Manor. I think Botany Manor is Game Pass.
Let me look up Samland.
I don't know. I don't think so. Yeah, no, people in chat are saying no. I'm thinking of Botany Manor because I really want to play Botany Manor, and I'm debating on do I get it on Steam or do I just play it on Game Pass? Because my Xbox currently hooked in because I'm playing New Vegas.
Sure,
so I can just do it there. Right now, Barrett has pulled up Raven's Watch.
Looks dope.
I like the art style.
Yeah,
and it's like a top-down, looks like a Diablo style action RPG gameplay. All right. I'm into it. Demon Hacker says Hall Effect analog sticks are magnetic based sticks to combat drift. Dreamcast had them and is a big reason all of those damn controllers had a stick wiggle, but none of them drifted. See, I hate the stick wiggle.
Can't have it. I need a stiff stick.
I need my stick to be stiffed. Jesus.
Engorged.
I didn't say all that. I just need it stiff. I don't need it engorged. I don't like that word.
I know I'm tickling it good when it's rock hard.
Jesus. God damn. At least you're avoiding the drift. Before we get out of here, don't forget the happy hour is happening this afternoon for all members. Kinda Funny Townhall with a programming update is happening Monday at 9:30 a.m. right before KFGD. Should people be hyped about that, Greg?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. Be hyped about that, maybe.
I mean, it's not like we're changing the whole world or anything, are we? I don't want to overhype it.
But I don't want to underhype it either.
Come hang out with us at 9:30 on Monday. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Of course, this has been Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday, we run you through the nerdy news you need to know about live on YouTube, Twitch, and on podcast services around the globe. If you love what we do, support us with the Kinda Funny membership on Patreon, Patreon or YouTube to get all of our shows ad-free, watch us record them live, and get a daily exclusive show. There is no game showdown today. I should mention that. I mentioned it yesterday on Kinda Funny Games Daily, but no game showdown today. We'll be back next week. We had to take some time to prepare some things.
Season 2
premiere happening next Friday. Until next time, Game Daily.